100 rated chess. But you can only capture pieces and pawns that is worth more than your previous capture. Absolutely impossible. We get a 130 from Peru. E4. E5. Since the challenge obviously restricted capturing, the most obvious plan is just to aim for a very quick checkmate. And the best opening for a very quick checkmate is definitely the King's Gambit. Queen E7. Very aggressive. He is obviously just pretending like he is defending his e-pawn, but in fact if I really take that pawn, he's gonna go Queen H4 right triangle me to absolute humiliation. Therefore, Knight F3 instead. He takes F4. You know what? I'm gonna sacrifice a pawn. As usual, when the challenge restricts my capturing rights, I let my opponent captures instead. And the best pawn to sacrifice is just always Edward. Edward lives. He is once again baiting me to take his pawn instead, and then he finally takes Edward with a fork. And I don't want to trade my queen. Maybe this guy is actually a lot stronger than I expected. I'll defend Edward then. F5. He's making use of the pin. E5. Queen E6. Now I take this pawn. G5. Very aggressive. That blunders a pawn, but unfortunately the rules only let me capture things worth more than the previous capture, not equal to the previous capture, so unfortunately I cannot capture another pawn. Bishop D2 instead. Knight C6. C3. Knight F7. It is getting really difficult to make progress. H4. I'm trying to get rid of his g-pawn and go Knight G5 for a knight trade, because as the rules suggested, I can only capture one minor piece during this entire game. Therefore I want to create progress as fast as possible, because as soon as all of his minor pieces get active, the game is pretty much over for me. G takes H4. Thank you. Knight G5. Knight takes G5. Bishop takes G5. Alright, now I can only capture a rook and a queen, and since the 100 rated players don't tend to use their rooks very often, it's pretty much just a queen. And he moves a rook to prove me wrong. Queen H5 check. On second thought, Queen H5 may actually be a bad move because he can block with his queen, which provokes a queen trade. Yeah. I don't want a queen trade. He will eventually blunder his queen and then a resignation. That is the most optimal way for me to win this game, so I didn't have any other choice but to sacrifice my bishop. Queen takes G5. Knight D2. B6. Long castle. Okay, let's try to win a rook first. Bishop C4. I mean, it's fine. Even though he has 4 points of materials advantage, my position is much more active. And in this position, something unexpected happened. My opponent disconnected. After all those times when I got internet crashes and power outages, now those things finally happened to my opponent. Mission accomplished. It's reading comment time. Did you realize the mistake during the game or only while editing the video? I get these questions a lot, and the answer is I always try to bring the exact experience I had to my viewers. If the video is disruptly cut like the one this guy is commenting in, then I only realized the mistake during the editing, and the actual game was in fact longer than the one shown in the video. And for this specific video, the challenge was a loss, but the game was actually a win. First, he can't count to 5, now he can't remember piece movement. I'm starting to think Simp is an Asian household goldfish which is allowed access to Google's TTS. I'm just getting old. I'm Asian. What if I want to argue that your calculation on the win rate is wrong? As the matter of fact, all Asians know very well that my calculation method is absolutely correct, but in case you think I'm wrong, well, maybe you can ask your mom about